A lot of bankers being played as it is the newest map to the pool. Replaced the beloved Consulate demo. I know it's still fond in a lot of people's hearts, but the good news is we've seen a major. We've seen how that plays out. Now we get to look at the Challenger League. It's always nice when you get to see how a map plays out internationally, as you get a lot more ideas, a lot more playstyles, a lot more variety in terms of what you want to bring. And there's an opportunity for these two teams to bring just such variety here tonight.
His first two bans, the attackers, Jackal. No surprise, really. I mean, that's like just classic for Bank. You know, it really has been since Jackal was introduced a very long time ago now, Ollie. Jackal is always gone on Bank, no matter what level you're playing at. He's gone. Hibana has been a great ban. I think the Hibana ban plays out very similar to how we kind of see Clubhouse. You look at Clubhouse, you think of Basement, you think of Hatches. You think of Bank, you think of Basement, you think of Hatches. So that's why Hibana is going to be a great ban for that. And then we're also seeing Valkyrie, just universally good. Until she gets her change, Ollie, of course, which is something that is going to be very interesting, as you can no longer throw Valkyrie cameras outside of the map. So I don't know what kind of maps that's going to affect, but surely whenever we get to that stage with the Valkyrie change, then hopefully we'll see how that does in competitive play. And finally, Kaid. No surprise, whenever you see Hibana banned out, you want to make sure you can try and get those hatches up out with, you know, the hard breach gadgets. Primarily has been the big go-to. And, oh, look, straight away we're seeing Zero and we're seeing Buck, both operators who have potential with a hard breach gadget.
It is no surprise to see the hard breach gadget play a huge role now in the meta. As you mentioned, the Hibana ban, it's very pressured. Ubisoft declared Hibana the queen of hatches. And, I mean, there's no real argument to it, but there's certainly a couple of challenges to that throne at the moment in the form of the likes of Zero, Monty, you know, wherever you want to look to try and get this secondary hard breach gadget. Because you now get two, you get so much more value, and it really is a worthwhile pick. And Viperio, they're going to double down on it. Not only are they going to bring two, they are going to bring four, as I believe that both Curly and Monkey will have some in hand. Plenty of nades as well. Kicking off here, attacking into the top floor.
Good to see A6, all drones alive, which is something that we kind of looked at Hellraisers, and we've seen how good their drone usage was in terms of actually keeping them alive, but actually using them was a completely different story. Let's see if 86 can do better with the drone work. Nades, again, being brought into the lineup. Think Iana, it's been such a storm, hasn't it, in the past 6 months or so, Ollie? Those two operators just go hand in hand at the moment.
We just see so much Finker, so much Iana. It's beautiful the way that the meta is just slowly but surely shifting, and it really is shifting much more into that. There's an opportunity to not bring a hard breach. You know, you've got these opportunities to use the secondary hard breach gadget. You don't need to be dedicating someone to an Ace or a Thermite or a Hibana if the band. It gives you that little bit more freedom, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. A lot of information. Something that Viperio do very well is actually make use of the Zero cameras. Not only is it great for intel, it can be used for burning things, it can be used to destroying a little bit of utility as well. So there's plenty of uses for that. And of course, Viperio, they're going to need it because they're going into quite a heavy soak of meta here. There's going to be a laser gate, there's going to be castle barricades, there's going to be plenty of things to be working through.
Yeah, you got the ADS denial, you've got the Wamai discs, castles, arena gates, Goyo shields. There is a lot to chew through. And this is probably where the issue with not having an operator with flashbangs comes into a bit of an issue, but like you mentioned, they have Zero, so you can utilize the cameras to actually burn through some of that utility. Look at Joe, going to try and nade, and will he catch? Neox, nope, just barely misses. Will open up the hatch, and oh, this is tense, Ollie.
What is he doing? The thing is, he's just given an opportunity for rotation. He's telegraphed his position, and DJ just goes, thank you very much. I'm just going to move to the top of main stairs. Nobody watching main stairs from the skylight either. A little bit lackluster there from Viperio. I feel like Joe's giving himself away. Pretty soft there.
I mean, Joe's known for making those plays, isn't he? Trying to get in by himself and really stand above the rest, but that does not work for him at the moment. Interesting kind of take that 86 are going for, and I'm not too sure if I'm sold by it. They have very little pressure towards Skylight, no pressure towards Janitors. They're going all in towards lobby and those windows, and the only issue with that is you don't have control of elevators, you don't have control of Janitors. Those are two positions that will shut down anyone going for this certain take.
Especially not now with where Joe died from. We're going to see Draw attempt to make his way up that main stair, but he will be cut down. Great C4 thrown out there by Link, and Link's going to pick himself up a second as it appears as though Viperio are just going to take this one at a time. Line him up, he'll knock him down. Link, he picks up Curly. We see a very aggressive run out there, and who else? Who other than Mowgli to be throwing those kind of moves out? His team is in a 1 versus 5. He can afford to throw himself out there with 30 seconds left and gather some info. Akari, what are you to do? There is no chance in hell that he comes away with this one.
Yeah, he could kill 3 of them and still not have enough time to get into the building, only to plant the diffuser. So yeah, 86. Bad start. Very, very bad start. Didn't really know what they were going for. 1 by 1. Every couple of seconds there was another person dead, and yeah, just very easy for Totem. I didn't really see anything that worried Totem at all.
Something else that's really worth mentioning is that although Hibana is fantastic and is great at opening hatches, something else that Hibana can do that not really anybody else can do, maybe an ace if you get yourself into position, is actually open up at the top of elevators, looking down the long corridor on that top floor. Now, if we think about that as an angle, that's where DG picked up the opening kill onto Joe. That is typically a first port of call for a lot of attackers when attacking onto that top floor. They want to get themselves on the rappels and they want to start cutting up these crossfires and they want to start giving themselves lines of sight. If top elevators, it's a spot commonly known as Kanto, is reinforced, it's very difficult to actually get anybody up there if there is a Hibana ban in place, and you're unlikely to be able to really do anything about it. Now, we saw Totem, they played quite deep. They were playing in and around the elevators, they were playing inside of janitors, they were playing deep inside of stock. There was nobody there on the side of Viperio that was really giving them any problem.
I do like the fact that Totem are not going to go downstairs. That's going to be a kind of difficult bomb site to try and hold whenever you do not have a guide, so actually going for something different and changing things up and not going for that expected basement, it's actually not too bad of a shout. So we'll be in towards the archives and tellers. Biggest issue that I think teams struggle with on this certain bomb site is the verticality that you can gain from above. So because of that, a lot of teams have now started those extensions in towards open area, utilizing the massive amount of roam potential that you have on bank. So it's really no surprise to see this kind of setup come in. A lot of it does kind of hinge on how well the player main stairs can hold, because the whole thing you're banking on is if a team's just going to try and walk into lobby and try and plant towards tellers, you have a guy in main stairs with those punch holes that we just seen being punched out by Mowgli. So a lot riding on his shoulders to make sure he can hold that position down very well, because if that gets exposed, 86, they could be in very, very swiftly.
86 is going to be going for a top-down clear here, which makes a lot of sense given the context of what they've brought. They've brought the book, and you would expect them to be able to get themselves into a position to use it. I'm going to see Joe attempt one of his trademarks, the solo entry. Is a very self-sufficient player in that he typically will drone himself in on the Iana. He'll use his own drones to gather that information as well and then look to try and move on through. Curly is going to be able to open up now from Lone Office in toward that bottom of main stairs area. It's essentially the same angle, but on the ground floor, as opposed to being on the first floor that they were unable to open last time. It's going to restrict Mowgli's movement somewhat here, as he's now a little bit more pressured if he looks to cross into sight or even retreat into open.
Yeah, it's just something that you kind of have to worry about. It shuts down potentially rotations from guys in open area also that might get a little bit maybe scared and has to get pushed out into another position. Here comes the verticality, which again is expected for the attackers. Nobody upstairs really contests that, like we kind of mentioned. Totem, they're all about holding in towards that open area. They only have one player on site, but not in a great position. I mean, if Isaac gets bucked above, he could be taken out pretty quickly. But this long mirror window, Ollie, that's going to cause some problems for 86, certainly, and I think with that 1 point X5 that obviously that cancel has, it just gives them just a little bit more of an advantage against maybe some of the holographics.
It's not a bad angle to try and push on through, and Neox is really doing a good job of holding Joe at bay. There is still one shock drone available, so there's potential to try and burn through a little bit of that utility. Akari is going to jump into the shock drone now. I'm not sure if the mirror windows are on his hit list, but we did just see it get taken out there at the bottom of square. Draw going to fall first as Eisen is in position to strike. Information being gathered here. Akari could try and see some success. Oh, he is going to be able to catch Eisen out, actually. Eisen just roaming a little bit too far as the push starts to come on through.
Oh, a great shot, though, from Monkey. Now, will eliminate Link, but do they know there's a flank currently happening to them? Diffuser will go down. Mowgli finds Joe. Diffuser was looking to be stuck by Monkey, but now because he does not have the cover, he has to move into another position. A lot falling on Akari's shoulders right now. Sees one dash across. Oh, through the smoke. Will find D-Juice, but Mowgli has slipped himself in again. He is on a rampage inside a bank. And with 5 seconds to go, what can Akari do? Absolutely nothing. Tries to stick to Diffuser inside of the smoke, but I'm sure Mowgli will be able to finish him off. Will walk in and misses the shots, but Neox will not miss his, and Totem will hold on.
Like a good rugby tackle demo. One goes low, one goes high, and somebody is going to get the man, and that is exactly what we saw happen there. Viperio running out of time inside of round number 2. It wasn't a terrible take for them. They did a lot of the things that you're looking to do on an attack into that side, but unable to leave themselves enough time when it really came down to it. A lot of roaming potential from Totem. Think about Mowgli. 3 kills on the round, very easily could have been 4. He was a player that there was no chance in hell that Viperio was shutting down. There was nothing to stop him from moving. I'm thinking, where's the Nomad? I'm thinking if you're going to go for this sort of take and hold style of siege, especially on a map like Bank, you need to try and control those defenders somewhat. You need to restrict that movement a little bit.
So Totem now, 2-0 up. Better attempt from 86, but again, that flank coming in from Mowgli, really, that should be shut down, shouldn't it, right from the get-go, but just didn't happen for them. But you could see the setup, though, from Totem. It put 86 under pressure. There weren't many safe positions that Monkey could try and get that diffuser down in, so that was the real issue that I think they struggled with. So Totem, again, not looking to go for that basement, which I don't blame them. I don't blame them for going for that basement. Basement on paper is quite easy to attack. It is very simple. I think the attackers, you can just control the pace of the game very, very easily. So now they go for the open area hold. Very roam focused, isn't it, Ollie? You've got the Vigil coming in. You've got the Oryx now coming in also. What do they have in store for us?
I mean, if there's one thing that we know about Viperio, is that they're going to pick 5 operators and they're going to stick them throughout the course of the game. It's going to be very seldom that we actually see them flex off one of those 5 that they initially pick. I think that Akari has switched. He didn't start on the Twitch, but he has since played a lot of the Twitch. Joe going to find himself some early success here. He's going to be happy with that one. Neox really getting himself caught out. Could be some quite early pressure now being put onto the site, as we do have Curly making his way up main stairs as well. There's going to be some Barb that's potentially going to give him away, but with nobody at the top of the stairs, he's going to get away with that one for free. Just looking to hold on to the angle. This is what 86 need to do now. They've been able to find the opener. Mowgli, he gets chunked down as well, as he's going to be forced back. He could actually come to blows here with Curly if Curly's not careful, but it looks as though he's got the heads up.
Yeah, it looks as if they have an idea what Totem are looking for, and Mowgli, oh, maybe it's a little bit too early to go for this aggression because he does not have a lot of HP, and oh, Curly, can you win that engagement? Both of them will trade. Draw finds D-Juice, and, well, I mean, still good information, though, the fact that, I mean, Curly hasn't died, and they know that one player's off-site. That just feeds out more information, of course.
Essentially, there's 2 on site at this point, and it's no surprise to see the diffuser start to go down. Joe's picked his second up onto Link, and Eisen is being forced to make that rotation back down. Mowgli is still alive, but currently, or at least last seen, being held downstairs inside the basement. Joe going to be able to open up the castle barricade, finds one onto Mowgli. It will be a trade, as that's his 3rd on the round. Eisen, where does he go from here? Gets himself upstairs inside a janitor, looking to maybe use the hatch, find himself a cheap kill, but he's not likely going to get much further than that. It's going to be Draw to shut him down. He had the information. He knew that the Oryx had been roaming up on that top floor. A much more direct approach there from Viperio. They saw an opportunity. That opening pick demo, massive, massive.
Yeah, it's what Joe excels in, isn't it? And we've seen him try that twice already, and finally, 3rd time's the charm. He finds that opening pick, and it just opened things up for his side. I mean, 86, not a lot of structure, realistically, from that attack. It was walking around, killing these roamers when they're in their ones, and I mean, I suppose in a bomb slot like that, where it can be tricky to kind of formulate a plan and set up things, you know, efficiently, especially with the kind of lineup. You know, they're not bringing like an ace where they can have that hard breach out of range. You have to use the hard breach catch. You have to get yourself in a position to put it on the wall. It's not as easy as what people might think it is. So I suppose the best way they probably went for it was they looked at the lineup, they seen roamers, and they thought, let's just try and get the roamers. And from there, we have the man advantage. We storm onto the bomb site. Don't even need to open up anything. Just get the trades, and they did that.
And you don't even need to get the kills. Mowgli was still alive when the plant was going down. You just need to know where he is and hold him from getting back in onto site. Something that Viperio did exceptionally well at inside of that round, but it hasn't been plain sailing, especially on this top floor. The amount of utility to wade on through. We commented on it last time, we're going to bring it up again. Every single operator here brings at least one piece of utility that you're going to have to try and wade through. You've got the castle barricades, 4 of them. You've got the ADSs, 3. You've got the magnets. You've got the Aruni gates. You've got the Goyo shield. You've got everything to try and work on. And previously, when we saw Viperio try and attempt this, we saw a very strange entrance from Joe. He tried the reverse nade onto the hatch inside of elevator, and it really didn't ever get started for him. I would doubt to see that happen again. I would expect a little bit more of a direct approach maybe into stock, because you can look to start trying to hold off it to how deep we wanted to see Reply Totem playing from last time.
So, last time for the kind of upstairs, it was, I think, a lot of reliance on Joe finding an opening pick would have helped them a lot. Fortunately, Joe just couldn't get anything going for them. They had no interest in taking towards Skylight, which is, you know, very surprising, because that is usually the primary attack that we see from a lot of teams. Joe hasn't worked for him again. He's tried to get that opening pick, and he himself has got the opening def. And Mowgli, we know what he's made off Ollie and the trouble that he can cause 86, and just puts Straw on a bit of a back foot now. And 86 already, a minute to go, and they don't really have anything to show for it.
It's a fearless swing as well, isn't it, from Mowgli there? He does not care at all. He's going to challenge onto that double doorway. You better believe it. Draw, trying to gather a little bit of info now, getting himself on the drone. We got Curly looking to make a drop and enter the top of square stairs as well. There's still a lot of uncertainty here as to where these defenders truly are. One of the walls has been left soft into square. Whilst it does provide a bit more of a direct route into site, it's also great information to be peeking off.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't give Curly free passage to just walk on in. Yeah,
it just kind of puts a bit of a fear, similar to what we see on Villa a lot of the time, Ollie, where actually the defenders will open up walls for the attackers, essentially, but actually it's going to be used to help them try and keep them at bay and go for those swings. Monkey is somehow inside of CEO, doesn't have the diffuser, so it's not as if he can go for a plant or anything, but still, he has something to play off for his team. There's Mowgli with a swing, doesn't care who you are, doesn't care what he's up against. He will take those challenges. Monkey will try and fight against Janitors. 86 do respond with 1 kill, and Akari's going to try and get this diffuser down.
Really try and make it stick here. Look at the long angles that are being held. Curly doing a great job to keep hold, but Link comes through with his second successful C4 of the game so far. Now, the plant has gone down, but is there a substantial enough post-plant here? We've got Neox. He's searching for somebody out on the window. Akari going to take down Link as he went for an aggressive jump out there, but caught on the swing is Curly as DG shuts him down. Eisen, he's looking to disable that diffuser, and Akari really needs to get a shift on here. He's going to find the kill. Demo, there was no time left for him to be getting that. There's still 16 seconds, and there's still a chance here. Potentially, Akari could clutch this one out. 11 seconds. Time is ticking all the while as Neox is looking to try and assist. DG, the next player to try and stick it. Akari finds DG. The jump out, it doesn't matter. Strike that one up, and we see it being pulled off. Akari, the twitch on the repel. What is he doing to us, Demo?
I have never, ever seen a clutch like that before. What was a 1 versus 4? 3? What was that?
How do you lose that? How? As the defending team, Your Honor, enter witness number 1.
They're guilty. That's what they are, guilty.
You don't even need a jury.
Right. So, to recap, they're sitting there with a massive numbers advantage, right? Diffusers went down, sure, diffusers down. That's not an issue. You have 45 seconds to...
Loads of time.
To regroup and figure out what you want to do, right? You know, the last guy is on repel. Whenever this kill came in, I thought it was done. A 1 versus 3 it was.
It's a done deal.
And you're sitting here thinking, okay, 1 versus 3, diffuser is right beside a window. Like, in this scenario, Akari needs to peek. There's nothing else he can do. He can't get a funny angle. He just literally has to front up and swing. Why is there not, time jump outs going down? There was moments there where essentially you could have held the diffuser, and as soon as you hear him move, you just jump out, because he either kills the guy in the diffuser or he kills the guy jumping out. He can't do both. If he goes for the guy jumping out, diffuser, it's gonna get diffused. And if he goes for the guy in the diffuser, he's gonna die, and then you have the other man to get that diffuser off. It was just poorly played by Totem.
I love the frustration at the end as well. Where the jump out happens, DG jumps out just to
That
kill
should
him.
have happened 20 seconds earlier.
Just to shut him down, because he's like, this guy has had our pants down here. We can't do anything. Leveled up at 2 rounds apiece. Where would we be without some excitement in the first half of the map?
And this is what we were talking about with 86. They are a team where everyone can do something.
Stone cold.
Everyone can do something. Anyone can clutch.
Anyone can clutch.
It's a new book I think you're bringing out, Ollie.
It is. It fits well with the Paris theme. It's a little one from Ratatouille there, if you're not familiar. Anyone can cook, anybody can clutch. Anyone can play Oregon. I mean, how far do we really need to go, Demo?
Anyone can do anything, Ollie.
Certainly anyone on the side of 86 can clutch.
Yeah.
That is a fact, and we've seen it. We've seen it top through bottom. Akari stepped up in a big way.
So, we go straight back into the depths of it again, Ollie. Totem are wanting to run it back again. They're going to be looking now for that top floor defense once more. A little change up from 86. Joe isn't on his usual avenue. This time he's actually went downstairs to support Draw, maybe looking for a different approach with the nades. I say that though, he's caught Mowgli out. Mowgli's been playing that same position for the past 2 rounds. They defend upstairs.
It's the biggest opening kill that Joe could have gotten himself here. The fact that he's alive halfway through into the round is a miracle at least, but then he gets the kill onto Mowgli. We're now starting to see the nades come through vertically as...
What?
Excuse me? Neox, that is not the enemy. That is not a tango at all, and Diju is going to fall to the team kill. Monkey capitalizes on the situation and the frustration, taking down Eisen. Totem, all they needed was to lose that round, and they are falling apart, Demo. What's going on?
I mean, and look at the last 2 Totem players. They're swinging now. They're grasping at straws. Link will find Curly, but that's the position known now. They know that one player is inside a CEO. Rotates in towards Janners, but I think it's only going to be a matter of time before 86 can sniff him out. Here comes a swing. Will eliminate a carry. That's Diffuser on the ground and will slip away, but is he aware that somebody's lurking inside of the corner? We'll find Joe again, and that's a triple kill for Link. But no, it is not enough. Draw will pick up the remains. A little bit sketchy there for 86, but still, they don't make a mockery of it. They still win it.
I could hear the circus music in the background. I could hear the clown music.
Benny Hill music going off.
It was what was going on? It was just challenge after challenge. Great opener. And we can't take that away from Viperio. They opened super, super strong there. Shutting down Mowgli, with hands down the top performer. If there's anybody on the side of Totem that's going to pop off, it's going to be Mowgli. He's a nightmare. He plays in the nicest possible way, and I say this lovingly, a very ranked playstyle. And you're grinning at me, no one can see that, but it's true. He swings everything, he challenges everything, he plays the P10 every single round. Like, this guy knows how to challenge, loves how to take a gunfight. But as soon as that starts getting matched and it starts getting found out, and Viperio gather a little bit more information round after round and learn these player habits and player tendencies, they're going to start to be able to shut him down. And we saw exactly that. Joe just taking his time on the entry.
Yeah,
That's all you want to see from Joe.
If you want to play that ranked play style, it's not a good idea to go up against one of the most infamous ranked players in Joe. Joe knows how to deal with that.
Joe loves a game of ranked.
He does indeed. He loves that. But yeah, I mean, Joe will eat that all day of the week. That's his bread and butter. He knows exactly how to play against that playstyle.
And as if by magic, Viperio, 3 rounds in a row.
Good rally to get back.
It's not only been 3 rounds in a row, but they've increasingly got better. The start of round number 5 was impeccable. It was very clean. Totem, they looked like they were chasing the tail at times. Obviously, there was a team kill that got thrown in there as well. But again, that speaks to the occasion that we're in Demo. It's a lower bracket. These teams have only got these 3 maps that lie before us, potentially only 2 of them. So there's a lot of pressure. Every round it mounts. And I think we certainly saw that in our first match of the day. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that pressure rearing its ugly head and really affecting the players inside of this game as well.
Final defense, Totem not opting for the basement. That is obviously going to be a good talking point. There's the fact that we're not seeing a team go for the favored bomb site on Bank. But instead, they're going to go for the Tellers and Archives. And this one was pretty close. I think it came down to just a simple flank hold realistically from 86. But still, I think Totem, they just caused a lot of issues with the certain setup that they're going for. The only thing that I fear is it looks to be an exact carbon copy. And if that's the exact same carbon copy, that's a strategy that will not catch 86 by surprise. 86 will know what issue they ran into, which was that mirror window. That'll be #1 priority. Let's get rid of that mirror window.
And 86 have made a change. It's flown under the radar for the majority of the round so far. It's a green operator icon, one for another. It's gone from the 0 to the Capitao. Still brings the secondary hard breach, but you get that little bit more utility.
And the biggest thing that you get with that is you get the ranged smokes. That mirror window, only way you're getting rid of that is either you have to open a wall to shoot it, or you get the Twitch drone, which is very unlikely to see a Twitch drone maneuver past all of those defenders. But one other option you can do is simply fire a crossbow bolt. Those just go at quite a distance. So if you fire those smokes out, it's going to block the cover. Link, somehow, whenever everything's being opened up above him, will still manage to grab a kill onto Joe.
He just walked up to Joe and took him out. I'm not quite sure how that happened there. I can imagine the wall isn't entirely open. Mowgli picks himself a freebie up onto draw, and it all starts to fall apart. He can drop and make a rotation for free, no danger of that. Gets himself out of dodge. We start to hear the smokes go off, and they are exactly as intended. Curly not only going to smoke his way in, but also going to smoke the mirror off as well. But Mowgli is moving up. He's aggressive. He's not planting in default, though. He's already dumped a whole mag of ammunition. Akari is there with the cover, and the plant's gone down again. Monkey picks one up onto Link, and it's now a 3 versus 3. Viperio, fearless in the man disadvantage, and they're going to start to swing this into their favor. Monkey, he takes down Neox, and he leaves a lot to do for Eisen and Diju, who, by all accounts, probably thought that this round was in the bag. Eisen going to aggress on through. He, too, will be taken on out as Curly and Akari back to back, bringing it home there in round number 6.
I don't know how they're pulling it off. I do not know. They are literally just throwing something at the wall. I hope it sticks. That is it. That is all 86 are going for. Things are not working out for them. They lost the 2 opening kills. It's a 3 versus 5. Again, they utilized the Capitao, which was expected. But one reason why I thought, yes, that's a good idea, but maybe you're going to struggle because they didn't remove the Maestro cameras. There's a Maestro camera looking at the man planting on the door. Why is that not being, why is he alive?
Why is it not being used? Why has it not been destroyed?
Well, I mean,
which side do we want to go on?
Mowgli walked in as if he knew exactly where he was and missed every single shot.
Viperio really focused on getting the plant down.
Just the impossible rounds. 86 put themselves in scenarios where it just doesn't look good for them, yet they still win the rounds.
They're not making it easy for themselves, but that is some clean siege. Some clean siege to not even lose a single man after being 3 versus 5.
It's very, very smart. They're utilizing the verticality well. We've seen how well the Buck played upstairs.
Buck played fantastically above.
And one thing that 86 have done really well is just get that diffuser down. Prioritize that. It's a big reason why we praised M&M and how good they were. You have one guy who just gets in there, get that diffuser down, and if you're attacking, if that diffuser gets planted, you know that the pressure is off you. Because the pressure's right onto the defenders now, because the defenders have to play like attackers.
It's hot potato. You just throw it back. Throw that hot potato straight back onto the opposite side. Totem coming in at 2 rounds to 4 here. It's now going to be their turn to attack. Now we're seeing very contrasting lineups here, Demo. Totem have doubled down. They've gone heavy on the hard breach. Not only are they bringing the thermite, they're bringing the ace as well. Whereas Viperio, they opted just for the hard breach gadget. And honestly, it didn't do them too wrong. They were still able to get themselves in their draw. I'm not too sure how you've been taken out there. If you're going to open up that much of a line of sight, you cannot afford to just stand right next to Bomb Chassis. Mowgli, he grabs himself the freest kill he's ever seen.
And it's like, you put a picture of Mowgli and Joe and spot the difference. Because right now they're playing the exact same playstyle, walking in and finding freebies.
It's not even guaranteed that that was droned either. It's just a good bet that somebody's going to be there. If that wall's open, you need to be careful of it. Eisen's getting himself onto the rappel. He's going to look to try and put a little bit of pressure in. The site does look a little bit light here, Demo, and that could be a bit of a concern for Viperio. Diju, he's going to find himself one onto Joe. Joe getting caught out by the drone that was on him the entire time. Some very efficient play here coming out, but Monkey, he's got the shotgun, and he is ready to make it raw yet again. Just going to switch up onto the secondary as he needs to focus his attention now onto the player that could be moving through stock. Diju has the option to drop if needed, but is more than likely going to turn his attention toward janitors.
Yeah, I don't know if Monkey's aware that Diju's actually jumped in already. Thermite charge will go down, and that gives them a breach. So 86 have to back off now and give that CO control away. Still have denial. 2 C4s in the back pocket of Curly and Monkey. Minute to go. But Totem, I think, doing very well, Ollie. Look at the drone work being done. checking to see the positionings of 86. Curly has a great angle, though, on that bomb chassis. Can hold that breach down very, very well. Just more the pressure on Totem. All I have to do is get that diffuser down, but the only worry I have is look at the position of Monkeys, and he needs to be eliminated.
I mean, he needs to be eliminated, but he also could drop Demo. He's got a C4 and time is running out. A smoke is going to come through. Neox with a swing over onto Curly. Akari trades it right back. He could look to try and move through now, but the plant's going down, and I'm unsure if anybody is aware of it. Monkey's going to have the indication, goes for the C4 and will land it. It stops the plant from going down, but he is very quickly traded off. There's still 25 seconds, which should be plenty of time here for Totem to get the job done. How much information has Akari got? Still worried about the rappel. Doesn't look as though he knows all too much as to the location of these final two attackers. The diffuser is going to need to be recovered, and Totem, they've taken their sweet time about it. The diffuser will be collected here, and a gunfight ensues, but there's only 5 seconds left. Diju does find the angle onto Akari, but it was much closer than I'm sure that Totem wanted that to be.
Yeah, almost there for Akari. Just shot some bullets, thinking that somebody could be holding that long angle in towards Lone Office, and sadly no one's there, and then from that position they know exactly where he is, and it's very simple to double up on that man. But I have to highlight Diju's patience was massive. I think he sat inside a Lone Office for nearly half the round. Hope he got his taxes done in that time.
A little bit of expenses. Stamped a few receipts.
But that's all he had to do. He knows he's in a power position. It stops anyone flanking up towards the long corridor, stops anyone pushing out of janitors. He played his job very, very well. Whenever the time came, he was able to push in.
Especially given that Totem didn't have any pressure coming in from main lobby. There was nobody there that was on rappel, there was nobody coming up the stairs, there was no one coming up main. They needed a little bit of something just to control Monkey inside of the closet, and it did just exactly that. You've got to wonder how that round plays out if Draw just doesn't get caught on camera or whatever he was doing in the middle of sight right at the start, because it did come down to the wire. It came down to the final few seconds. Really could have been a little bit more pressure for Totem to deal with, but I've got a sneaking suspicion, Demo, that they knew exactly how much time they had there, and they just weren't wanting to leave anything to chance. This is a tight game, and every round matters. Even if you've got the advantage, sometimes you do have to just take those extra couple of seconds, and Totem did just exactly that.
Yeah, good work from Totem. Gets their first attack in the board, 86. We'll have another chance at defending this top floor, and they will go for it. So lost that first player, Draw, very early on to... realistically, something that really shouldn't happen. You know, if you open up that wall, that soft wall in towards Skylight, you should be ready just for something as simple as somebody swinging it. You know, that should be something you're ready for.
I thought that Mowgli was going to go into electrical then and get caught out by Joe. Look at Joe, he's desperate for one of these little, like, snidey kills. He's desperate to just pick up something for free here. He's not playing too aggressively. He's playing behind barricaded doors. It isn't all that obvious that he's going to be there, but it does leave him off site. And as the castle, it's not necessarily your wheelhouse, isn't the old off-site. There's an argument to say once you've set your castle barricades up, go and do whatever you like. But you've got the shotgun, but you've just not got really the rest of the kit that makes it worthwhile, and you're looking mainly there toward an impact or a nade.
See Mowgli, same position he was last time in towards Skylight. Just glancing over those holes, but doesn't see anyone at the moment. Obviously, these mirror windows going to cause them some issues, as we know. Ollie, very strong operator for this top floor. And realistically, with the lack of twitch potentially, could cause them issues. I mean, they do have an ace, but getting an ace charge realistically on some of these mirror windows can be quite difficult for them. So they will once again try and get that main wall open. But again, same plan for Totem. Nice and slow. Don't give anything away. And just focus on the objective.
Certainly aren't going to be winning any medals for speed, but it really isn't about that. Waiting for the nade to come on through, and it sails on in as if on cue. The link to open up that wall. The breach going to be open yet again. Monkey's still going to be playing in the closet. Neox is literally just playing flank watch at the moment, which is a strange position to find yourself in as an ace. You've still got 3 Selmas there, and it doesn't look as though he's going to get into a position to use them, at least to assist this initial push in that Totem are looking to try and do. Instead, just going to be locking it off downstairs and making sure that nobody like Joe is going to try and make that rotation. Now, I would imagine that the hatch is still open inside a janitor, which would give option for Monkey to drop and to try and make something happen there should he need to with a C4. But no, there's 10 players live. There's only 45 seconds left.
Yeah, not a lot of time really for Totem to start rotating around certain areas and try and push up towards other staircases. You see 2 players lurking in towards that mid floor, and now DJs will try and walk up alongside Neox, and See what they can find. Mowgli finds the first pick. Monkey goes down, but that mirror window inside of Janitors will halt him at the moment. DJus fights against that Jaeger inside of CEO, and Akari still fighting back. Buck open the wall. Curly has to swing, but no, DJus gets the better off him. Draw did find Neox, and Diffuser has been planted in the midst of that.
Draw is going to be able to try and take the challenge, but he's full white flashed and immediately is taken down by Mowgli. Akari, poor old Jaeger, last alive inside a front desk. Realistically, what can you do against an execute that is that clean, Demo? There was not a lot of time. And that's not to say that Totem squandered their time inside of that round, but they used every second of it to set themselves up for what they wanted to do, and that was get the plant down. The first kill coming in onto Monkey, removing him out of Janitors, is a huge move. Monkey's got the shotgun, he's playing that close range, he's got the C4, he's got the mirror window for information. You need to deal with that, and they did just exactly that. They even swept the first floor to ensure that there was going to be no nasty C4 lurking below, removing utility at the last second when they know that no one is now going to have time to jump onto it. How do you go up against that? That was a better execute, arguably, than what we saw Viperio pull off. It was certainly cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, Totem just kind of collapsed on all different fronts, and 86 couldn't really stand against it. It has forced 86 now onto a different bomb site. The first time we're seeing basement here this evening. And that is quite surprising, because usually basement is the first pick bomb site, it's one we always get to see, but as of late, well, the team's not wanting to go downstairs. More the case of, I think, you can get kind of stuck. I think if you turtle on side basement, you're really relying on smoke and C4 gameplay, which isn't always the most reliable, and you're really relying on a heavy utility meta. 86 in this scenario, they're looking for a bit of an off-site hold, a very interesting one at that, Ollie. They'll be holding in towards open area as it seems. They have some protection, so if a rush does come in, they have mirror windows up, they have echo drones up as well, so they've kind of covered that front. But for the other three, they have so much potential for the roam game. Essentially what they did, if you look at the open area right now, they've completely redecorated it. You have the castle barricades up there, you have also both hatches open. And the big thing about having both hatches open, oh, it was only just the one. I thought it was the both. But having that hatch open, it means that nobody can actually walk in for a plant. Because as long as you have hatch control, you have control of the bomb site. So it forces the attackers actually into hunting this as if it's an open area.
So I'm going to have to go for a full clear here. They're already getting control of this top floor. They've really not wasted all too much time at all. And it's led, as ever, by Mowgli. We do see Draw looking to maybe make a challenge there. It looks as though both players' spidey senses are tingling, but Mowgli is going to come out the better in that engagement. Joe gets sat down in the dirt as well as Neox predicted him. Must have been drone information on that or the punch hole was just a little bit too big. This roam is fallen apart inside of the first few seconds of the round, it seems. It's only now we get Monkey trying to trade one back. Now, it is a great pick. It's on to the ace. So obviously restricts that ability to open anything up, but as you've already mentioned, Demo, some of these hatches are open or just soft. In fact, the two key hatches are open and the other one is just left unreinforced, so still not as big a pick as you might like. Mowgli finds himself two. How does he get away with that? He shuts Monkey and Curly down in one fell swoop. We hear a goo mine go off, but with 1 minute 20 to go, Akari, he's already had one clutch today. Can this be his second, Demo?
It's going to be a tough one for him. 1 versus 4, minute to go. Plenty of time for Totem to find out where he is or try and get that diffuser down. Akari will now take a strut upstairs and maybe look to push in towards open area. Is there a Claymore? Yes, there is, but he will creep alongside it. But there must be some drone information. He finds one, but not the second. Totem must be ready for him. And, well, nice attempt again from Akari, but just wasn't good enough that time.
You've really got to bring into question the roam game there on that round. It's going to be no surprise to anybody that we are in a timeout now. Viperio calling it just before the end of that round. They knew that that things aren't really going their way. They've seen some success so far, and that much is clear. We've seen them attack exceptionally well, but we're not on the attack anymore. It's Totem's turn to attack, and they're attacking pretty good as well. Viperio, they're really struggling on these defenses. There's been a lot of question over the way that they're conducting themselves, certainly in the early part of the round. That roam there was arguably very unnecessary on that last site, and I don't know if we're going to see basement again purely because of that Either that or they're going to play it very differently because they need to try and anchor into this. You can't go out there on their own when there's someone like Mowgli.
I mean, there is other options for them. Other bomb sites out there, maybe not the basement like we've mentioned. It's not the greatest at the moment for the defense, and I think the meta is definitely shifting away from that. I mean, they could maybe try and attempt another top floor again, but even still, that hasn't been working well for them. You're kind of at this stage, and it's good to see the timeout comes out because this is a good time to figure out what you want to do. Because 86 at the moment, they don't look as if they know what they're doing.
It's certainly better to call the timeout too early than too late. I think there's been a lot of question really in terms of when the timeouts are being called. I know it was a bit of a talking point at the major as well, is that teams will sometimes leave it until their opponent's on match point, and often you give that opportunity away to your opponent to figure out how they're going to get it over the line as well. Don't forget, the timeout does work both ways. Reply are quite able to talk amongst themselves. But as we enter now into round number 10, we have seen the switch up. We have seen the old ankaroo onto that basement. It's a night and day composition to what we've seen previously. We've got the Maestro, we've got the Mute, we've got the Banshees, we've got the Mirror. Still no smoke. And that would be my biggest question mark, not a criticism, a question mark at this point. It becomes a criticism later, depending on the outcome of the round. But they're still lacking that substantial denial. Sure, you've got 2 C4s, but is that enough?
It's a tricky one now, because you look at 86. Right, things haven't been going well for them. I think some players maybe haven't turned up at the moment. Looking at Curly, 2-7. Joe, 4-8. It's been a bit of a wild ride for them. So with this timeout, what I assume is they probably mentioned, okay, who's struggling where. You look at some of the role switches. I mean, Joe is on Maestro now that we're seeing. So already, we're seeing differences. We're seeing Monkey now on the Melusi. So they've had a chance to talk. They've changed up operators. They've changed up who's playing where. So maybe this could be what they need.
I mean, Joe's back playing on Navi at this point, on the Maestro. It was something that he was known for over there during his time in EUL. But certainly that extension, the early roam game, the lurking role, it hasn't really been working too well for him. It's no real surprise to see that changed. The hatches are going to be reinforced this time, but with Cade not available, it doesn't make it too much of a problem to try and open those hatches up. And as we've already noted, Totem, they're not afraid of a hard breacher, so much so that they bring 2. Link is going to try and open up this hatch now, as the C4 does get tossed out pretty early. Typical to play an Ella in this position. You can get away with playing the Mute as well, but you don't have as much info really to be working with. Draw, what are you doing? Challenging vertically onto the hatch and just sits Mowgli and Link down. I mean, you've got to expect somebody behind server stack, demo. That's on page 1.
I don't think he swung from server stack, though. Well, I think he didn't get swung onto. He swung them, which was the more crazy thing that Draw went for. He's in with that big LMG will win against Curly, but I mean, the fact that Draw's got those 2 kills, it is massive. Massive for his side, and if he just delays the time even more so and take up some utility, or just take another kill, why don't you? I mean, Draw has completely mudded Totem right now, and I have no idea how DJs and Neox pull themselves out of this. Get them a rope. Get them out of there.
Stuck down the well, and, well, it isn't going to get any easier. Akari takes down DG. Draw is downed at the moment, but it's unlikely that he's even going to get finished off here, given Neox's positioning. Joe is going to shut him down. Almost a flawless round there from Viperio. As they bounce back, Draw, what a play. In behind the server stack, picks himself up 3 kills. The fact that he got 2 on the hatch was enough. The third one, the one that we got to see like in all of its glory. Little bit of a wiggle peek, little bit of a shoulder peek, and then the El Clasico hits him with the crouch. Hits him with the crouch, nobody's expecting it. Eyes, and he's still aiming head high, bam! Shut down into the dirt. We do see Viperio drag 1 back there, but it needs to be a little bit deeper than just 1 round as these 2 teams level things up. 5 rounds apiece here. There is no more basement available for 86, at least for the time being. Instead, they're going to turn their attention to open area.
Yep, open area getting a good run out today. Mira has been a big operator really for both sides that we've seen be featured quite a bit, but Is there a surprise whenever both teams have wanted to have, I think, the consistency of having strong anchors in sight while also applying that roam game? I mean, Mira is a very strong anchor. As we know, Ollie can shut down a lot of different sight lines. It just gives you that extra, extra wall in the defense, isn't it? Because that is, Mira on its own is a tricky operator to get through. So really no surprise to see her kind of shining throughout this game. See this extension now in towards Archives and Tellers, and 86 seem to be in a good position. Like, the setup does take quite a while from them to get ready, and one thing that we've noted with Mowgli is he gets into the building even quicker sometimes.
Yeah, Mowgli is not afraid of an early sprint in. This time he is just taking his time to get himself established. Joe was watching underneath Dirt Tunnel just to see if that was going to be a line of approach for any of the Totem players, but he does make his way out of there. I don't worry at this point, but you have got to draw into question that Viperio win the round and everyone was playing something pretty much entirely different to what they've been playing up until this point. And already we're seeing players sort of start to move back slowly, but kills already starting to come through. Now, Monkey's taking down Mowgli. I'm not entirely sure how that has come about, but I can only imagine that Mowgli was trying to push on into the site, or at least at the window. Joe's been taken out as well. Drones start to flood in. Monkey could see quite a bit of pressure there. He's actually the sole player on the side, but it might not even matter. Draw shuts down Neox. DG may have top floor control, but what's he going to be able to do with it?
It's a difficult kill for Totem to swallow. The ace is gone, so that hard breach that you can throw at range, it's off the table. So Link has to put himself in a position to get these walls open. He has to go into Skylight. He has to walk into that massive area with a lot of different angles that can kill you. DJs will try and support that endeavor by going above and actually opening up these angles to assist them if anyone wants to try and swing. There's the yellow ping coming in that will spot out Akari on the Mira. And there's the holes being opened up. So essentially now for Akari, he cannot eliminate that Thermite. He has to sit back, he has to stay still, and does start to get bucked, and somebody's inside a lobby for him. Linko actually pushes him out. We were expecting Thermite to go over towards Skylight, but in fact, he's going to be assisting with clearing out the roamers.
It's really good play from Totem to have that presence of mind to be holding as you're trying to push the players out with this much time remaining.
Did Draw go up the hatch?
A Draw's been taken out as well. I think he tried to pull the Oryx play. We very rarely see that pulled off. And it's a bit of a shame at this point because this started out as a 4 versus 4.
Roaming Echo. Interesting, but I don't know if it's going to work for him because there seems to be a couple of drones scattered around. Monkey, that is such a massive kill. DJs goes down, and that essentially eliminates the western flank. Now it's just the east side they have to focus on. Link is pushed straight in. Does have a deployable shield, will fire out a smoke, and actually going to use the shield to his advantage. Monkey pulls out the shotgun potentially at the wrong time. The LMG range free. He sees the diffuser, and he will eliminate Link. A gunfight will still come in, and Aizen eliminates him. A 1 versus 1. The Echo is on the board. Does he have any drones? It doesn't look as if he does. He has to play off his sheer gun skill and sees. No, he sees him, but he gets behind the shield in time. Curly has not had a good game, but could this be the moment? Could this be his chance? Pings come in. The LMG range for a rotate from Aizen. Will this catch him by surprise? Moves over towards the bomb chassis, but it's not enough. What a play from Aizen. He saves Totem in the dying seconds.
What a messy and scrappy end to the round. I really thought we had another Monkey clip on our hands. It's similar to shooting out the side of a soft wall when you're trying to disable the diffuser from the other side. It was in that kind of vein that he shuts down the Thermite. He didn't know his luck. He switched over to the shotgun at a really bad time. That shield, by the way, it's a good shield, but it really worked against them there. It was the entire reason that we see Totem win the round.
It was that engagement between Monkey and Aizen was... It was like, caught him by a bad time. Yeah, he switched out to the shotgun, panicked a little bit. And it's almost as if he opened up that wall to try and get an angle onto Aizen.
Oh, you didn't know.
But then he just said, you're planting a diffuser. I'll just kill you instead.
And do you know what the frustrating thing is about that? Is that seconds later, there's an Echo, there's a Yokai splash that comes out. So the Yokai drone was in that room because that is what we saw being played from below. And it's like, how is the info not there? There was information from Totem as well. Props to them. They had a drone in sight and they had live ping information for that final kill. Totem, map point here. We'll put them one map up inside of the series. Next map being Villa. Clubhouse if required. this top floor demo, it hasn't been that much of a problem for Totem.
I mean, like this is where it's quite scary, I think, if you're 86, because yes, the top floor, it has been a scary bomb site. It has not been the greatest for them. It's just, can they adapt? Can they change things up? Again, it looks as if they are going to do that. We're seeing some different operator choices. Mira isn't being brought for them. We're seeing, I think, the Melusi from Joe, that's been a new addition to the lineup. So there certainly is changes for 86, but they're on match point. They need this round to pull it into OT. But Totem, they've played so patient. They have played so slow, and it's worked really, really well for them. Mowgli will eliminate a Banshee, and straight away just look to walk in towards Janner. Is he aware? No, Monkey!
What?
Again, the wrong time for him.
The drone was working ahead of Mowgli as well. He's fearless in these opening engagements. He's getting himself into Janitor inside of the first minute. He's got the kill, and nobody has traded him out. Like, excuse me, how does this happen? There's a great magnet there that's being placed. This is the wall that we were mentioning in round number 1 that's so crucial to get open. And we are going to start to see it opened up now. Joe eventually taken out by the Claymore, excuse me. I can only imagine that
I think he jumped
out for that kill. I think the frustration really starting to show at the moment on the side of Viperio. But it's still a decent kill. Mowgli's in sight and he is running rampage. Found himself 2-3 on the round, and Link is getting the plant down. Draw is left in the clutch. 1 versus 4, and he doesn't stand a chance. That was a Mowgli round through and through, and that is enough for Totem to take map number 1 inside of this best of 3. 7 rounds to 5. And boy, oh boy, I don't feel like the scoreline there does justice to the siege that we've seen. Totem have been squeaky clean.
Scrappy though, very, very messy, I think, from either side. Mowgli